Destiny has held the crown of looting shooters for a very long time. But are you ready to discover the game that is poised to dethrone Destiny? As you guys may already know, for a very long time, we've had multiple contenders of Destiny killers. We've had The Division, we've had Anthem, we've had Outriders, to name a couple. But this time around, guys, we have a brand new game called Project LLL, which is an MMO loot and shooter. This game is set in an alternative version of South Korea in the city of Seoul. It combines sci-fi and fantasy elements all put together. Basically, think of this game like if The Division and Destiny had a baby. The game includes a very diverse amount of environments, such as urban landscapes, just like we see in The Division, wilderness, and of course indoor settings, very similar to the ones that are seen within Destiny. That's why as you watch the trailers and as you watch the game, you're gonna find yourselves a little bit familiar based on the settings if you've played any of the games I mentioned. Now, each of these environments are infused with its own unique blend of science fiction and a fantasy theme. And due to this, it's positioned itself as a contender in the loot and shooter genre, aiming to stand alongside the established titles like Destiny, The Division, and Warframe. The question is, does it have enough in its arsenal to contend? Let's talk a little bit about the exploration and the environmental dynamics. So the developers have promised that within the game, a very cool feature is going to be implemented, and that is the ability of being able to go to different zones without a loading screen. Basically, they want to eliminate the loading screen so you don't have that disconnect when you're going through different areas, or when you're pretty much engaged in the game and you get that cutscene and it kind of stops the momentum. They want to make sure they remove that. Now, even though on some of the gameplay we currently seen, we don't see this feature being implemented. Now, we don't know if that's due to the fact that the version that they're currently playing of the game has not been updated, or if that a feature hasn't been integrated in the game as it's currently right now in alpha. Another integral part about the game is that the game will have the ability of having dynamic weather. This is actually pretty good because this is going to allow you to experiment and deal with multiple weather types like snow, rain, and sunny days. And I think that's a really cool feature because that's going to change the way you sometimes approach the game or play it a little bit different. Now, we do know the game is going to look top notch due to the fact that the game is being developed in Unreal Engine 5. And as you guys may already know, not only are we a sucker for Unreal Engine 5, but everything that Unreal Engine 5 touches just turns out to become beautiful. Now, if this isn't enough to get your juices flowing, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the gameplay mechanics and the diverse combat system. The combat will place you in a third-person perspective with a wide array of different weapons, complemented by high-tech abilities such as invisibility cloaks, stuff that we've seen in Destiny, gravity grenades, also seen in Destiny, and a missile launcher. We also seem to have a Titan bubble that blocks incoming damage when you're trying to engage other teams, other players, or just the AI. Now, there is a component in the game that's extremely crucial, and those are the vehicles, because they're going to play a crucial role in the game. These include both land and air type vehicles alongside the Titanfall inspired mech that offers a unique combat dimension. Now, one thing to note, the game will feature both PvE and PvP elements, including public events, dungeons, raids, which we're extremely excited for, competitive modes, and open world fights. Along with the character abilities, we will also get access to a couple of really cool weapons, such as ARs, SMGs, LMGs, shotguns, grenade launchers, and miniguns. The developers are veteran shooter players, so they say they know the importance this feature brings. They say elements like recoil, aiming distance, muscle alignment, and other gun characteristics play a big part on the way they design the firing mechanics. They say that the team has worked with military professionals to create this crucial aspect of the games. They stated that you will be able to tell the difference between different weapons and the way they feel and the way they operate. But what about character customization? Well, we got some information on that as well. you're going to be able to choose from several different characters belonging to different civilizations. Each character has its own unique personality, name, and of course, background. The visual appearance will also match the era that the character comes from. So based on if it's a really old time, it will look very old. If it's a more modern time, it'll look very modern. Now, based on the civilization you end up picking, that's going to determine the ability that your character has. Now, there is no mention of classes, so we kind of believe that the game will be you are what you wear type of game, and it's going to give you a versatile playstyle and also give you the ability to combine different weapons and different equipments not tied to a specific character, because you'll be able to alter your character's function using tactical gear as opposed to that being tied down to a specific class. Some of the technical gear we've seen in the gameplay are objects that allow you to scan the environment, shooting a single or multiple targets with missiles, using an energy shield to cover yourself very similar to a Titan, pulling out a minigun, and just pretty much dishing out raw power unlimited. Now, mostly on the mission side, we've seen a couple of missions taking place in one of the recent gameplays, and one of them being one of like the most common ones where you have to go capture an objective. This is basically them heading over to capture a pod, and this pod linking them to different computers. I believe it was a set of 3 different computers found in different areas of the map, and you would have to go as a player and activate this computer. And of course, as you're activating it, you're getting shot and you would need to defend yourself. Another one that we saw that was quite interesting that I was like, okay, that one looks kind of cool. It was like one similar to like what we had in DMZ, where it's like a rescue hostage one, where there is a injured person within the battlefield. And this one, it seems like they failed. They went to this area where there was a kind of like a injured person in the ground. The guy tried to go ahead and give him health, but unfortunately he failed and wasn't able to provide him health. But it seemed like you needed to heal the guy and extract or move the guy, or get the guy to safety. So that was a very interesting one to see, specifically on this type of game. Now, we know that apart from these missions, there are going to be open world events that are happening in the world. Now, this is going to be very similar to what we have in Destiny, where we have these events that automatically public events that happen. They're said that these public events are supposed to be very massive, so I'm really looking forward to see how that plays out, if there's any lag, if there's any frame drops. Because as you guys know, when there's big, massive public events, usually that tends to be one of the biggest problems. I know prior to this, when they first released their demo, there was a little bit of a talk regarding the lag and the performance issue, but supposedly that's going to be corrected. Another thing that I found really interesting was this right here, which is the menu, and it kind of gives us a little bit more insight of stuff that we could expect in the game. So the top menu on the top is character, we have equipment, we have skills, we have emotions, which I think are emotes, and then we have profile. We also have a kind of like description right here within the middle right, where we're able to see what type of items we're able to carry within our inventory. We have a chest armor, a BCI connector, leg armor, and a battery. Now, it seems like the battery is going to be playing a huge role within the game, due to the fact that we could also see that we have active augment devices and passive augment devices. And I think these are particularly just going to be tailored on our active and passive skills, very similar to what we have seen in other games. And in addition to that, on the right hand side, which are our ability cycle, we have resistance core, BCI connector, light speed system, a generator, a battery, a booster, and an ENS material. And that's kind of interesting because when we see the gameplay, you see them cycling through these. Now, what we've seen cycle through these is not only the ability of being able to kind of do like a slam and cause a damage here, being able to throw down a item that heals, being able to pop up a bubble, being able to do a pulse so you know where the enemies are at. So a lot of integral parts are going into the game. How all of these are going to intertwine and connect, we have yet to see, but of course I'm going to keep you guys updated as soon as we get more information on Project F. Now, I know the biggest question you guys have right now is, Laser, all of this sounds dope, all of this sounds awesome. When can we expect the game, and are we going to get a beta? Because the way currently games are running now, I think we want to try out games before we go ahead and spend our money. So from my understanding, there is going to be a beta, and the game is set to release in 2024. Now, from my understanding, this is set to be a fall release. I do hope it actually has a fall release, due to the fact that, as you guys already know, summer, we're going to be busy with the First Ascendant, which is kind of almost tying into this particular genre as well. And we have a couple of other distraction shooters that are also coming around this time. So we want to make sure we have enough time to dedicate not only to the First Ascendant, but also this game as well. I want to know from you guys though, are you guys itching for a really good loot and shooter? It seems like distraction shooters and the loot and shooters are like one of the hardest things to come by, and I'm really hoping we actually nail them down this year, because we got a lot of distraction shooters and we got a lot of loot and shooters coming our way, so hopefully we get one that's really good. I hope you guys are enjoying our content here on the channel. If you are, do me a huge favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel, turn on all those notifications so you guys won't miss when our videos go live. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.